Down in front.
Down.
Hi. What was that music cue? What was that song that just got?
You know, it's the, what is it? Play it again. Play it again.
Play that song.
Oh, you just play it?
He's like,
He doesn't know. He said we stumped the man.
Nope. That's not it.
I feel like this is it. And he goes into this like. It felt.
Because nothing says disco like Speight Knuckles.
Nothing says I'm on ecstasy on a cruise ship. Yeah, it's this. You gotta get into it a little bit, yeah. Slow opening. Well, there we go. There we go.
That's not what she said. Maybe it was what she said. How you doing, Richard Speight Jr.?
I'm doing great, Jensen. And yourself?
Oh, I feel good.
Yeah, I can tell. That's not really how J. Brown meant it.
I feel good.
He meant it like that. He didn't mean it like, even in spite of these knees, I can sit down. That you're like, oh God, it's another day in paradise.
I will say this.
What?
As I've gotten a little bit more wisdom in years,
Yeah. We're going to skip over the syntax.
the noises that are made from simply getting up and getting down
Yeah.
have increased dramatically.
Well, I have three sons. Flat Shoe's been spending time with us this weekend.
We had a great ride home last night, by the way. I don't know if I told you about it.
He said you guys had a good time, but I didn't get the highlights.
I had some maybe unsolicited parental advice for him for about an hour.
Attaboy. Good. Well, I'm sure it was probably very similar to mine.
It was not good.
Okay,
It was not good.
But
You'll have to undo what I just.
it's a constant,
I know.
between you and his other 14-year-old friends. But he has, he's constantly saying, he's like, Dad, you make the stereotypical dad sounds. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you just sat down, you went, ah.
It feels good.
And the weird thing is, I'm not in pain, I'm not doing anything. Somehow, it's
But
just
the getting up, what is that?
I don't know, but I like it.
By the way, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
We don't need to do it.
Watch, we can do it.
We're just
noise. Watch this. We'll do it without noise. 3, 2, 1. You made a noise.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Mike, wait. Mic to your lips. Totally fine. Totally fine.
I'll hold one in.
I can't keep it in.
I got it.
I'm gonna pull a hammy.
I got a dad sound bacon in the oven. Ooh. No, I'm back. Yeah.
It's fun getting older.
15 years, man. If you think about like 15 years, you had 0 children when you started doing Rome.
I had Jared.
Well done. You know what? My favorite joke, and I know I made this joke, but I made it to you, and you didn't appreciate it enough, so I'm going to say it again. We were in the car with Jared day one, or Saturday, your guys' day one, and Jared was showing a picture of his children, his sons, and he's talking about Shep. He's talking about Tom, and then he's talking to Shep, and he's like, Shep is like season 1 me. He's long, he's skinny, and I said, he won't come out of his trailer. Kaboom! Home run! Crickets from this guy.
I didn't hear it. All right, to be fair. And this is the thing with like being a friend of this beautiful man. You have to be like attention constantly, because the thing's just kind of like the comedy is constantly flowing, and so if you're not paying attention, you might miss one, or two, or three, or four.
Yeah.
And I missed that one. And he liked it so much that he not only said, "You didn't hear that?" but felt so much so that he needed to repeat it to you today.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I appreciate.
It's called commitment.
It's called commitment.
Yeah.
It's called comedy in threes.
Exactly. Yeah, as I tell my sons.
And I do want to point out that there was very little laughter after that.
Yes, there was. But wait till I wrap up this panel with that same story. I know what I'm doing.
Oh, I know.
I told my sons, I'm like, if you don't think I'm funny now, just wait.
Wait till your wedding.
I'm going to keep these stories going.
It's when you recycle jokes,
Yeah.
either they get funnier or they get funnier.
I was going to say, at the end of the sentence, either they get funnier. That's it, they get funnier. Yeah. They get funnier. I see a lot of people lined up to have me step aside and listen to you answer questions. This is my favorite part of the programming, when I learn a shitload about you, because I'm forced to be a part of the Q&A. It's lonely in the middle. But let's do it, shall we? Come on. Start with her right there. She seems ready-ish.
Hi.
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 I was wondering if you could share with us like funny drunk story, could be together or
Funny drunk stories.
Funny drug?
drunk.
Oh, drunk.
Yes.
Drunk stories.
Similar. A funny drunk story?
Yeah.
I don't get drunk.
But hypothetically, I've got one ready to go. Wait, get this arrow out of my. Where's the target? Okay. This is only a funny story because it didn't result in anybody serving time. But it happened in a town called Rome, around a convention called JIB, in a hotel where a gathering of gentlemen,
Misfits.
including this guy, actually spearheaded by this guy, had some adult beverages. Hey!
There's a quote, and it is, "When in Rome, do as the Romans do."
Okay, yeah. So they're fans of the adult beverages at the moment, because there we go. So, it's Robert,
Continue, please.
it's Jensen, it's the usual suspects, it's somebody. Oh, Jason Mans is there for this. And we've been out, and we return to the hotel, and I do what in Ireland is called a goodbye. But everywhere else is called an Irish goodbye. And I was just gone. And so, because I was done. I had been served plenty. Exactly why I made the Irish goodbye. So, I go to my room. That's all I know. That's the end of the story as I know it. I go to sleep, that's it, whatever. And next morning, I go to breakfast. I see him, I see a couple of fellas looking like something the cat shat. And Jensen goes, "What room you in?" I'm good. 218? Motherfucker. I said, what, you know what I'm going to? You know what story I'm going to? What happened? He's like, all right, well, may have made a small error last night. You left, I blame you. You left, and I wasn't having it. So, I'll call your room and get your ass back in gear. Back on the playing field. Turn to Jason Mans, my lieutenant. What's Speight's room? And he adamantly and defiantly belted out 219. So I pick up that phone and I call 219. He wakes up a man from a dead sleep. He says, hello? Get the fuck back into my room. Who is it? You know goddamn well who this is. You were not given permission to leave. You get back to this goddamn room. Why are you threatening me? I'm threatening you because I'm serious. Now get up here. I'm sick of this shit. Click. Beep, 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 beep. That may or may not have been Richard. Jason, how sure are you that he's in 219? Cut to Jason. And so, assuming that authorities are going to be called, he does, I am told, what any sensible person would do at this point. He tells everybody in the room, grab a knife. There may be angry hotel personages banging on this door, and we need to be prepared to defend ourselves.
Yeah, you told that mildly. I was much worse.
Okay, well, now that I'm telling you, I'm a hearsay storyteller this one. It's still one of my favorites. But what was the actual language?
I called you back. There was 2 calls.
Oh.
I hung up because I wasn't getting the response that I wanted from who I thought was Richard. So I hung up to prove a point, but I had more to say. So I picked that phone up and I called that room again. And this poor man answered one more time. And I let him know how horrible of a person he was. And I meant it. So much so that I said, I'm going to come to your room and drag you out by your hair. I will say, I'm glad I didn't do that in Texas.
Oh, man.
Because the response was, basically, I think you have the wrong number. I don't think this is the person that you want to speak to. And it was in a broken English. And I
Still could have been me, by the way. That does not eliminate.
No, by the way, I was like, nice try, Speight. Oh, I was.
Dude, do you
I was, yeah, no, I was, yeah. There was a moment.
There's some European vacationer to Italy that moment who has a very different story than he went home with.
That's right. There was some American that called me in the middle of the night and demanded I come to his room. And if I didn't come to his room, he was going to do things to me that I hadn't even ever thought of.
You know, it would have been really...
And by the way, after the second phone call, and I went like overboard.
Okay.
Like I went full tilt.
Right.
And then I hung up with veracity. I was, you know what I mean? Boom. I looked at Jason, I go, it's not Speight. I don't know who that was, but that was not our man. Oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah.
Is that the point where you told the guys to knife up? Because
That was like, guys, you might want to arm up, grab a spoon, a fork, a knife,
a bandage,
maybe like a handkerchief, anything you can defend yourself with. And you're gonna want to like watch the front door because I think we've got some people coming.
And how does this? I will say this is classic Jason. In this entire story, for all these years, this is many years ago. He's remained unscathed, when really, in many ways,
It's his fault!
Exactly. If you know my room number like a good friend, well, you know what? Thank fuck you didn't know my room number.
And here's the problem, and you guys know Jason. Jason is one of those people in this world, and there are a few of them, in my opinion, that you just trust.
Yeah, that's right.
And he is one of those people who you just trust, and he's always been that for me. When I met him 25 years ago, he was just a guy who I was like, he says that way, I'm going that way.
Yeah.
And even after these, there was another story that arose in the green room last night that I won't discuss.
We're going to put a pin in that one. We're going to hold off on that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one. But where I was like, you steered me wrong for 20 years. And Jason was like,
Yeah. He gave me the old 218, 219 shrug.
yeah.
The old 219 we call it.
219, yeah. Not number 182B.
No, sir.
182B is this.
Yeah.
And that's not the one.
No. Give him the 219.
He gave the 219. And some of you have no idea what we're talking about. And for a half a minute, I didn't know.
I just watched your plane roll right off the tar right there too, buddy. I was like, how you get this bird up in the air? You're in soil now, son.
He told me something that a story that I have been telling for 20 years. And he was like, hey, Jensen, yeah.
And that's as much of that story as we're going to say.
That's it. So, but I will say this. He is still somebody who has earned the right to just be like, that way? Got it.
Yeah.
So he said, this was Richard's room number. I'm going all in. And I go, Jason, I don't think that was Rich. And he was like, ah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what you think? You think, different guy does that, you get mad at him. Different guy does that, you don't call him again. But Jason, you're like, oh, Jason.
Jason.
Which way to the foxhole? Let's go. Good question.
Yeah, great question. What was the question?
Exactly.
Hi.
Hi, Jensen. Hi, Rich. This
Hi.
question is actually for both of you.
Great.
That's weird.
So,
Didn't see that coming.
so we've just heard Rob and Goody do some music on stage. I was just wondering if Jensen had to play a song of Richard's, what would it be? And if Richard had to sing a song of Jensen's or any companies, what would it be?
If Jensen had to play a song of Richard's, what would it be? And if Richard had to play a song of Jensen's, what would it be? I would never step on this man's music because I don't have his vocals. It would be impossible. I could never emulate what this guy does. But I will say, long ago, when you first sort of thought, I'll join SNS. You know, long ago, first time I think, we did a song that I don't think we ever did again. We did it one time, but someday, this is not Jensen didn't write this, but I think we need to dust off Sister Christian again at some point. Because that was dope.
Remember we had Jeffrey Dean come on and he announced it.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I forgot that part.
Yeah, Jeff came out, announced it. Do it now? Oh, sure. And the curtain drops.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Let me just go blow up the drum set. I made myself lightheaded. He's going down.
Yeah, there is a very distinctive difference between this man's vocal prowess and my vocals, and I don't think it. I will say this: there are things that I listen to him singing that I wish I could do. But I don't have that. And because it's unique to him. When I mean, for instance, the Prince cover that he does.
Raspberry Beret, yeah.
Is like, I would have never, as Prince, probably never have thought to do it that way. But he finds a way to do it the way that he does it. And it is, I listen to that song all the time. I love it. And so, in fact, literally just in the green room, you might actually see a video of this, because somebody might post it. I asked Billy to play a chord progression of a Loudon Swain song that I didn't know. And he did, with Rob sitting right there. And then I just started singing to it with what I thought might be the melody and the chorus and the harmony. And it was pretty different. And which is a really like kind of like amazing musical thing.
Well, I heard, so Jay, it was an interesting exercise, because everybody was kind of sitting around Jason, we were all kind of like, had an ear on it, and Jason goes, this is an exercise in, for lack of a better, this is human AI. He's like, because we are, especially our group, but all humans, you're all programmed by the history that you have pushed your way through, right? So your foundation is built on the backs of your experience, so that what you've read infiltrates what you write. What you know infiltrates how you speak. All those things. So as a songwriter, the music you've grown up with, the music I've grown up with, has informed our vocal voice and our musical voice. I think you pitched this idea in there, or Jason did. But it would be really interesting, and I really think we should do this, is to take a chord progression, have Billy write something different, just like something simple,
and have 3 or 4 different.
Have Rob, you, Jason, me, each do our own version of what that, write our own lyrics and vocal progression of that song.
The same music.
Exact same music, and just see what comes out. It'd be a really, really fun musical experience. Yeah. So, a little off topic for your question, but we're going to be circling back to that because I like that idea. So we're going to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over there. Hi.
So I love traditions, and last time I had a joke. I have a new one.
Okay.
Okay, do you know when exactly Pinocchio discovered he was made out of wood?
Do I know exactly when Pinocchio figured out that he was made out of wood? Is that right?
It was when his hand caught on fire.
When his hand caught on fire. Because he was very into clean hands.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
No, it's not, you monster.
Okay, I admit.
Thanks.
Whole front row.
There you go.
Disgusting.
You right there.
Sewer.
Thank you. Hi. My question is, have you ever done anything in your...
Yep.
when you were a kid that you don't want your parents to find out about?
Well, you're circling back to the Pinocchio story now.
That's a good callback. You guys didn't hear it. Nope. You didn't hear it.
What was it?
Nope. It was a good callback.
Thank you.
What did it have to do
It's
with it?
called comedy callback, and he just did it.
What did he do? What was it?
Well, it's It's possible to do on the fly, but let's just say it involved fictional wooden puppets masturbating. But I'll let you take it from there.
Good night, everybody. Please.
All right, I'm leaving these two on stage.
No,
You're not?
no, we're staying. We're staying.
We stay. Oh, okay. I was going to pull a Jensen and take off.
Please drink, I already did it.
Oh, okay.
Is this really apple juice?
Yep.
I can tell right away it's not. What about this one?
No. I think these are,
Oh dear God.
So I want to apologize for my friend Rob. He's not himself this weekend.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed in Jensen.
it's hard to have a serious moment with a oompa band playing. Yeah, there you go.
Wait, what are we doing? Are we doing a foursome?
Yeah.
So, did you guys make it? Were you aware of the fact that Jensen just bailed on his panel yesterday? That Jerry did the old JIB crossover, like, "Hey, Jensen," and you're like, "You're here?" Poof. And he just bailed, left him.
Well, because I came on to apparently, I thought I was joining Rob. And this was not made clear to me. I thought I was coming up to have like a panel with Rob.
Right.
And it was like, oh, all right, here we go. We're going to have a nice time. And he's like, I think I need to go. I'm like, oh. And then he left. And then I was like, ugh. And so then Jared came up and I'm like, oh, all right, he's joining me. All right. Oh, no, you're not joining me because I have to go because Rob did that to me. So I was like, all right, well, Jared, you're next. Here, take the last question. I'm out. And he wasn't even scheduled to have that time, or that time. So I just left you on stage, and I apologize for that. I don't normally leave you hanging like that.
Richard just started trying to do it to us just now.
Yeah, he did.
I you know, the math gets a little strange. I never really know the schedule. It'll say, Rob, Jason, Jared. And so you're like, I don't know how this triangle works. What are we doing?
But Jensen, good to see you again, Jensen. Thank you.
Oh,
Do I get the short? I get the short chair? It's like I'm in the motorcycle going sidecar. Like my microphone scarf?
What is happening?
This is how our panel goes. What do you guys do? Talk?
Solve equations.
You say solve equations? Make fun of the smart guys. As you see, Trump is really having an effect on Richard. They got it. Wow. Sad news today in Rome after Jensen Ackles. Really? Solve equations?
That's the winner. Yeah.
Solve equations?
Yeah. No, we do normal shit, like discuss whether Solzhenitsyn was more correct than Nietzsche, or whether like Kant or Pope or Locke kind of had normal shit. Like dude stuff.
Sounds entertaining.
I think we are actually saying goodbye.
Well, we're not. Well, we're going to talk for a second. When the rest of the game comes on, that'll be the sort of goodbye.
Oh, hi.
Right now we're doing a comedy panel where we're pretending we're in a car.
All right, so did we take a question? What do we do in lieu of the... well, what do we do? Oh, I'm the director.
Is it the final question?
Sure, let's do the last question. Oh,
Do we have some time?
How much time do we have?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right, maybe 2 questions, maybe 7.
All right, did you ask your question yet?
Yeah, I did, but
Okay, here, right there.
Hi guys again.
Hi.
You were last yesterday when he took off.
Right? Your third creation. There's 4 of us in total from Croatia.
What is it?
Do it again.
There's 4 of us in total from Croatia.
There's
From Croatia. We had 2.
there's 4 of us right now. What are we doing?
Carry on.
So, I have a question. So I'm going back to the teacher. Again, I'm a teacher. Yes. And I have a question like, what's the most memorable advice you all got from your teachers?
Never take blood from an eye. What? Come on, Rob.
Oh, thank you.
Come on.
No.
If not now, when? Tell us, Rob. Tell us, Rob.
That's advice from a teacher.
Listen to your Jared. Listen to your Jared.
No. I would say best advice was to, gosh.
Did you do it?
What does that mean?
There you go.
What does that mean?
Never take blood from an eye?
Yeah.
The veins are tiny. You're wanting to take it from an arm or something bigger.
Like what else?
Yeah.
Cool.
You'll appreciate my influence.
What the hell was that cheer for?
Jensen, what about you? I'm still thinking.
I'm going to give an honest answer. You're an elementary school teacher, which in the United States is lower school.
That's shitty advice.
It wasn't something that one teacher said. It was the way that they acted with the class. There are some teachers who just go through the motions. There are some teachers that just go there, they deliver the curriculum, and they call it a day, and it's their job. There are other teachers that actually engage with the students and want to understand where they're coming from, what they're doing, how they're doing, and where they want to go. And the teachers that stood out to me the most were the ones that actually took the time to be a friend to me. And I've got probably 6 teachers in my head right now that I'm thinking of in my entire, 13 years from kindergarten to 12 that stood out to me because they cared about me and what I was doing and how I was doing it. And even in my worst subjects, like my 11th grade English teacher, Miss Patterson, I was failing. And she literally was like, I'm not going to let you fail. And that's I think that's the beauty of that. You have that power.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
I never answered. You know, in 2nd grade, my teacher had a baby, and she brought the baby to school, and I was like, oh, I want to hold the baby. I'm the youngest in my family, so I never held a baby before, and I grabbed the baby sort of down and let her sit on my arm, and didn't hold the back. And the baby goes, I was like, yeah! And the teachers, and I remember, and the baby's eyes were like,
And the baby was Richard Speight.
That baby. Because I guess I learned how to hold a baby. From my second grade teacher. You got to put your arm on the back.
That's so true, Rob. So true.
It was a big lesson for me. Mm-hmm. Stuck with me.
Yeah. No, you're aces now.
Thank you.
Shall we take a different question? Sure. All right, over here.
Hello.
Hi.
So my question was originally for Rich and Jensen.
Cool, see ya.
All right. So in 4-1, who's for Rising, and Cass kind of tries to read Dean and says, you don't.
Lazarus Rising.
Lazarus Rising? Sorry. Thank you. It's been a long day. And he says, you don't think you deserve to be saved. And Dean has that question in his head, like, why me? Why me? And so if you take that all the way to the end, and Cass, in despair, saves Dean for the last time, do you think that Dean at that time finally thinks that he deserved to be saved at that point? And then for Rich, on the director's end, do you think, from a director's point of view, what do you think of that character arc, kind of based on Jensen's answer?
Well, we're going to answer this question at our next Rome convention, because we clearly won't be able to finish it then. Jensen?
Or at least Jensen's part.
Okay, so I'll say this. I believe that Castiel came down to save someone who he didn't view was worthy of saving. Upon the seasons and the years that happened post that, he realized that maybe these people are worth saving. And it was the change in his character that allowed him to say what he did when he did in season 15.
Ditto. Strong ditto. Thank you for your question. Appreciate it. And I think,
One more?
Yeah, one more. Right, good.
Let's go. Make it easy. Let's go, please.
Oh, good. Here we go. Never mind. Here comes the gang. Going out here, everybody.
Guys.
Robert.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everybody. This is the point in the convention where we
Wow, that's really high pitched.
This is the point of the convention where we say goodbye.
No, he's just kidding. We're here to announce that we're extending this year's JIB by 2 days. So this is the official halfway point. I hope you're fired up, everybody.
Jared, a couple more stages for you today, for the next 2 days.
Of these stages. Daniela, hey, can we do something real fast? Can we give a round of applause to all the staff of JIB?
Yeah. I'd also like to do a special shout out to our sound guys, our audio visual team. They get better every single year, and they make this thing look like $1 million. So we're very thankful.
They're really the best.
And also to all of the handlers and the staff that we sit in the green room and we talk like you see us talk on stage here. And we continue to talk, and we would not make a photo op or a stage presence or an autograph line ever if it wasn't for these beautiful people here that go, excuse me, time to go. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to me. You know, I tried so hard, man.
Matt,
Yes.
way to hang in there.
Shit.
Way to hang in there.
And finally for Rob's last jib.
That's right.
It's his last ever, unfortunately.
Did you hear the silence?
This is why you're first to go in prison, Rob.
No, it wasn't silence. Everybody was like,
It was a sigh of relief.
Yeah, we saw that coming, yeah.
And obvious fucking lead. Can you
Guys, without her, none of this would be possible. None of this would be possible.
And we're hoping she does it again, but I don't know. I'm going to give her the microphone now.
For next year. Yeah.
But no, Rob, you told me 15 was done.
Yeah.
That was it. You told me that was it. No more after 15.
That was seasons.
Well, and then she said, okay, 15 years on the Supernatural, 15 jibs.
It makes sense.
I think it makes sense. We're done.
You went 3 more years after I died? Nobody told me.
Because you were dying 27 times.
The best 3 years of the show were after you died.
Rob's last Rome, everybody. Rob's last Rome.
Which is why she wants to go more years after this. So, I think we're going to do it again.
Next year. Again. We're 20 now.
What's that?
20 next
Maybe 20.
time.
Yeah. Should we go 20? Why not?
Thank you everybody for being here, for staying with us for all this time, and thank you to all of you, because without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to all my friends, because without them, we wouldn't be doing this either. Thank you guys.